Welcome everyone, it's Neil here from 3D Tudor, back today with another quite simply beautiful geometry node. And if we check this out, just check out what we can now do, guys. Look at the complexity and what we can actually do with this. So enough of all that, let's actually jump into our modeling section and let me show you. So from the intro, you can see this one is designed to create bridges quickly and easily, and we can actually shape them on the fly in real time as always. And before we begin, if you want to get this geometry node along with all of our probably 30 odd others, all of our thousands of hours on courses and things like that, then check out our Patreon down below. We have many tiers on there, and one of them is actually free, so you can just sign up for free and check out everything that's going on here at 3D Tudor. So how do we first start off creating this bridge? Well, let's first of all just move this to the side to give me plenty of room. And then all I'm going to do is just make sure my cursor's in the center with Shift S, cursor to world origin. Let's now bring in a curve, just a simple curve. We'll do it, guys. So bring in a path. That's the easiest one to use. Press S to make it a little bit bigger. Press Ctrl A, all transforms, set origin to geometry. Now, of course, on any curve, we've got some little points going along there. And if you increase, let's say, the curve edge, you can also increase these points. And I'll show you that in just 1 second. But first of all, let's actually bring in the geometry node. So add modifier, geometry node, come on down and you'll see one that says curve bridge. The stone path needs to be there because that is these stones over here. You can see these stones going along here. So we've actually tied it in with this geometry node, but you won't have to worry about that. All you need to put on is the curve bridge like so, and you'll end up with something like this. Now, first of all, let's actually make it a little bit smaller. So we can actually make it smaller with the actual object like so. And then what we're free to do is come on in to your actual curve and press S and X, and you can see we can pull it out. From there, then we can press all transforms, right click, origins, geometry, and there you go. You can see you can get the size that you're actually looking for. So the best thing about this node is, let's first of all come on over to the right hand side. So when we're building, you will see that we've got a base curve visible. This basically is showing the actual curve. If we're coming over to this and turn it off, you'll see it actually disappears. It's up to you whether you find that annoying or not. I like to have it there so I can actually see what I'm doing. Next of all, then, we've actually got our wall on here. So if we go over to our rendered view, you'll see this is what it actually looks like. It's just a color just to give you some idea of what your bridge is going to look like. But you're free to drop in any of your own materials in these sockets here, and it's as simple as that. So let's now jump in and see what these options do. So I'm going to just put it on object mode just to make it a little bit easier for myself. And then what I'm going to do is click on this one, just make sure I've got this one clicked. And now you'll see as I alter these, I can change the width. I can change the height of this, and you can see, well, it doesn't look like a bridge at the moment, Neil. Haha, but once we start messing around with this height factor, you can see now we can actually shape our bridge however we want. So we can have something like this, for instance, or something like this. Now, the best thing about this node is all of this is done in real time. No matter what options you mess around with on here, all of it will be done in real time. The only thing is that if you come in and let's say shape your bricks, which we'll talk about shortly, it will actually be pretty slow. Again, when you put the holes, the booleans in, it's also going to slow it down. So what I would first of all do is shape your bridge into the way that you want it. So what do I mean by that? If I come in now and grab both of these edges, press E, enter, S and X and pull those out, you can see it actually shapes it on the fly. And as well as if I come in and bend it, you'll see that the bridge moves along with everything. So now I can actually pull this out and get whatever shape I actually want. The other thing we can do is as well, is we can actually grab both of these edges, press Alt S, and we can see that we can still able to move these out, which will be very important when we actually add in our actual railings. So let's first of all just get this a little bit of a better shape. So let's pull it out like so. Let's bring up then the height a little bit more, something like this. And that's looking a pretty nice start. You can obviously have a flat bridge or, you know, less rounded bridge, whatever you want to do. Okay, so let's move now down to the next part, which is the railings. So I'm going to press tab. I'm going to enable my railings. And there you go. You can see we've made it so you've got a little bit of a gangway going along there. We can also change the width of these railings, as you can see, like so. And we can also bring them up. Now, the thing is, as you can see, when I change the width of the railings, it does bring it in a little bit, but all we can do is just bring it out a little bit like so and just play around with it till we've got the actual right size that we want. Now, if I come down to these now, even with my railings on, I can come to here, Alt S, pull them out, And you can see now we've got a beautiful, beautiful bridge already. All right, so now let's discuss the next part then. So we've discussed the height, the width for the railings. Now let's talk about the railing bricks. So let's enable those. And you'll see they come in pretty dinky at the moment, but we can actually change those pretty easily. So the first thing I'm going to mess around with is the actual width. So I'm going to bring them out. And then what I'm going to mess around with then is the length. So you can see if I bring these out or the other way, you can see now I can mess around with those. I can even mess around with the actual gap. So let's put it on 0.005, something like that, or maybe 0.05. And there you go. Now you can see the gaps in there. We can also mess around with the thickness as well, as you can see. Now you will notice that they're actually stuck in the wall at the moment. We don't really want that. So what we've got here is a little option just to pull them up on the Z offset. And you can see now they follow it going all the way along. Now what's more, what we're also able to do is actually enable random length. So we can actually increase that to increase the random length like so. We can increase the random width. The random width. Yep, that's what I mean. We can also increase the random thickness like so. So you can see already we've got a very, very uneven bridge. Now we can also, while we're doing this, is just move our bridge around a little bit more then. So we can actually move it around here, shape it like this. And you can see just how easily it is to actually use this actual modifier. Let's put that back for a second. And then what we'll do now is we'll talk about the best part of this bridge, which of course is those holes. So you can see at the moment, got our bridge laid out. We don't need to mess around at all, using booleans and things like that. All we need to do is click on enable holes and hey presto, there we go. There's our hole. Now let's come in, and what I'll first of all do is I'll just turn off the railing bricks. And the only reason I'm going to do that is because it will speed up this hole a little bit. And we can leave them on. It's not going to crash blend or anything like that, but it will speed it up. So first of all, let's look at this middle hole. If you've only got one, the way that you're going to scale this is through this end one. So end scale, because it is the end hole. So let's put it up to 8, like so. And you can see now that we've actually got this all cut out for us, ready to go. Now, what else can we do with this? Well, actually, I've actually made a cube. So you can see this, this cube here that I've made. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to show you, if I make this a little bit bigger, like so, reset all the transforms so you can bring in any shape. I will show you that in a minute. Come back to our bridge then. And instead of it being on arches, let's put it on custom. That will disappear. And then all we need to do is click on this here, like so. And you can see now all the bridge disappears. Why is that? That's because we've just got it on too big. If we put this on 2, you'll see. There we go. There is our bridge with our custom hole in there. Now, if we come into this now and actually come in and grab the sides of this. So if I come in, grab the sides. Now you can see it's a little bit slower because it's being used on here. If I come into my bridge first then and just turn that off a minute. So let's turn off the holes. Then let's come to this now and you'll see it speeds up. And then all we can do is press Control B, increase the amount of bevels like so. And there we go. Let's reset all our transforms again. Right click, set origin to geometry, and let's shade smooth by angle. All right, back then to our hole. Let's click enabled, and hey presto, there you go. You've got an actual boolean that's working with the bridge with just a few clicks. Now, some of you might be asking, well, why is it a bit jagged around there? We can actually sort that out. All we need to do is turn off align to curve. This align to curve is on there just in case you have any problems with your own boolean. Sometimes we've found that certain booleans cause a little bit of an issue in the corner of here, and we just want to fix that. So sometimes this wants to be on, sometimes it wants to be off, and that then will align it basically to the curve rounding depending on what your boolean is. All right, but it does get better than that, because at the moment we've only got one curve in there. Let's then come in and give ourselves 3, for instance. Let's come in and give ourselves 3, and there we go. We've got 3 actual curves in here. Now the best thing about this is now that I can come in and increase the factor, so the scale and the end scale independently. So let's say I want this centerpiece much bigger. So if I put this on, let's say 4, there you go. Now you've got a huge centerpiece and smaller side pieces. So I can even come in and bring the side pieces even smaller. What's more, I can actually come in and increase this, let's say, to 5. You can increase it as well with an odd number. It doesn't, an even number, it doesn't need to be like that. And then what we've got here is you can see that it's kind of put 1 on top of here. And this is because you just need to mess around a little bit with the scale. So if I put this on 2, like so, you will see when it loads up that now we've actually got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in there like so. Now the other thing that we can do is we can change this Z offset, and what that'll do is that then will move them all up, and we can also change the factor. That then will change this gap between each one of these. So let's do the off center first, so the center factor, and what we'll do is we'll put it on minus 0.3. Let's try that, and it should bring them out to the edge of here like so. So you can see now I can come in with that center one and scale that up, let's say to 2.5, and you can just see how easy it is to get exactly the sort of bridge that you're actually looking for. Again, we can still come in, and if I actually press tab, I can still come in and change this on the fly, although it's going to be a bit slower because it's better to turn this off as you're actually doing it. But you can see we can turn that, and we can actually move this curve. Let's just turn it off a minute so you can see like so. And then what will happen is when I press tab again, enable it, you'll see that once it comes in, there you go. You've got a perfect bridge the way you want it. Let's turn that off again. And then what I'm going to do now is just put this curve back like so. And there we go. We've got it back what we wanted. Now, what else can we do with this? We can do even more things with this. So at the moment, we've got our holes there. What happens though if we want to, you know, kind of move these holes up so we've actually got a center point on here? Can we actually do that? Sure we can. Let's first of all bring this down to 3. Let's set the center off set to 0 again, like so. Let that all load up, and let's also put this back to arches. So we're going to put them to the round ones. You can do this with your own booleans as well. Let's then put this Z factor up to something like 5. Let's move it up, and let's click on align to curve like so, and it should move them all up where we actually want them. Not quite that far. Let's put it on, let's try 3. Bring it onto 3. Let's create this center one a little bit bigger, so 3.5 like so, and then you can see we just have to work with this a little bit more, so let's put it on 2, and let's make these I think, yeah, can we make these a little bigger, then move it up a little bit more? So let's put the end scales on 1.5 like so. Let's put them a little bit bigger, so let's put them on 3. Too big. Let's put them on 2.2. That looks about right, and there we go. Now you can see we've got a bridge with just holes in there, and you can see just how adaptable and versatile this actual node is. Again, we can still move everything around. All right, so let's move on a little bit more. So we've done our holes now. We've done our top bricks. We've got those on here. What about the bricks in this part here? So first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come and enable my bricks like so, and then I'm going to increase the actual length. So let's increase the length like so. Do I actually want to increase that or decrease it? Let's have a look. Let's put it on 0.2. Let's try that. Yeah, that's the wrong way. So let's put it on 0.8. Increase it slightly like so. Let's put the length a little bit random. So 0.2. Let's try that. There we go. Let's increase then the... I don't think we really need to increase the width. So this is this bit coming around. I'll just show you just so you know. 0.4 will bring them out a little bit like so. And then what we'll do is we'll increase the thickness to 0.8 like so. And you can see now we've got a lot more thickness on there. And of course, we can put our thickness random on here, so 0.2, like so. And maybe a bit too much, so let's put it on 0.1, like so. And there we go. You can see just how easily that actually works. Now, the last thing I want to show you about this then is, if I come down and I go back to my holes, let's drop these back down. So I don't want the Z offset to be anything. I'm just going to put it on 0, like so. You can see now, let's increase that center one then. So the center factor is going to be here. Let's put it on 5. Make it much, that's not much bigger. Let's put it on 8. There we go. Much bigger like so. Let's click off align to curve a little bit. And there we go. And now let's put on our bottom bricks. So you can see we've got one that says bottom bricks. Let's click that on. And there you go. You're also able to put in bottom bricks that are going to go down there on each one of those. So really handy. All right, so the next thing then I want to talk about is the last one in these options. I'm sorry guys, this has taken a long time, but it really is a beautiful node, and there's so much to actually cover on it that I need to go through all the options, especially for people out there that want to download this actual geometry node. So with the stone brick settings, we've got first of all the bricks. So you can see here, these are the bricks. We've got the amount of subdivisions, and then what we've got is the noise and the noise power and the bevel. So first of all, if I turn this bevel up to something like 0.8, let's turn that up. And then of course, nothing will really happen at the moment. And the reason for that is because we need to turn up these subdivisions to something like 3. And once I've done that, you'll see now that we have some really, really nice actual bricks that look a little bit more fitting for this. I think I've gone a little bit too much. So all I'm going to do is just turn down the actual bevel just a tad to something like 0.6. Let's have them a little bit rounded off. And there we go. And then what I'm going to do is you can also see that we've actually, because we've turned that up, we've actually got noise in here as well. So you can see this noise actually being generated in there. Let's put this on 5 subdivisions or something like that so we can get a real idea of what this noise is going to look like. And there you go. So you can see now this controls the noise scale. So how big that noise is, you can see at the moment, we've got it really, really small, making all these little dinky dots. If you want to make them much larger, just put this on 5 or something and you will see a complete difference now in how that looks. And there you go. That's looking much, much better. We can also change the noise power. I'm not going to mess around with that too much because it takes a little bit of a long time to mess around with that. Now what I'm also going to do then is just put back on my railing bricks. So let's enable those. And you'll see once these come in as well, take a little bit of time. Once they come in, they'll have the same actual noise generated on them as the bottom part of the bricks. And you can see there that if I wasn't talking through this, I would have created this bridge in perhaps 2 or 3 minutes, as simple as that. Again, what I'll do now is just to show you, I'll just turn off my railing bricks, let that load up. I'll turn off my holes and I will turn off my hole bricks like so. And then we should be just left with something like this. And now what we can do is we can actually mess around with this a little bit more. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to come in. I'm going to pull this back a little bit more like so. I'm going to grab this one, just this edge, like so. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come in and mess around with the height. So let's bring the height up a little bit, like so. Maybe gone a little bit too much with that. So have a little bit of a bend, like so. And then what we'll do is we'll mess around with the width a little bit, like so. And now finally what we'll do is we'll come to our railings, enable our bricks, and then we'll come down and enable our holes. Let that load up. And then we'll come down and enable our, where are they, our bricks. And hopefully, there we go. All in real time, guys. So as simple as that to make a bridge. All right, everyone. So a bit of a long one, but I'm sure you can see just how versatile and amazing geometry node this is. One of those, again, that you can't do without once you've actually got it. And if you really like what we do here and you really want to support us, again, check out our Patreon down below. I'm going to put an advert for that now, so watch that. It is one of the best in the industry, and I hope you really enjoy it. And I'll see you on the next one, everyone. Happy modeling as always. Cheers, guys. Bye-bye.
Hey, everyone. Do you want to have access to hundreds of Blender products every single month? Then check out our brand new Patreon, which is probably the best in the industry, especially for beginners to Blender. Best of all, we now have 4 Patreon levels, pretty much for any budget. Or if you just want to follow us over there for the latest news on 3D Tudor, then that's also fine. So let's now take a look at these ranks and stay till the end to find out what we really have to offer. So rank 1 is all about just supporting us at €5 per month, and this is just to say a big thanks for everything that we do here. Rank 2 at €10 per month comes with a free course every single month, and if you've seen the scenes that we've been creating here on YouTube, where you can get your hands on any of these for absolutely free. And you will get your name featured at the end credits of all of our YouTube videos. Moving on and stepping it up to rank 3 at €19.50 per month, you get pretty much the same as you did in rank 2, but this time we also give you 2 geometry nodes per month absolutely free. And moving on to the big one, which is rank 4, the top tier that we have at €48.50 per month, and you pretty much get the whole shebang. 2 free courses per month, any of our geometry nodes, any of our model packs, any of our YouTube themes, but best of all, you also get the complete asset manager file, complete with our entire library of compositors, materials, and assets, and this will just keep growing. So whatever your budget, there's never been a better time to support us here at 3D Tudor, and I think we provide one of the best Patreons in the industry. So head on over, check out our Patreon, follow us over there for the latest news, and if you can, we'd be very grateful for any support, large or small.